in this video, I wanted to point out an important element when it comes to designing your product. And that is that when you go to upload your own artwork or design, which, just to recap from the very beginning, if you go to Studio or even the Customize button on any of our products, you just go to Design here and then the Upload button. You get these 4 pointers down here. So let's just go through them one by one. So the high res message here identifies the idea that you want to make sure your images are high resolution, which, as we recapped in a previous video, the higher the quality of your artwork, the higher the quality of your finished printed product. Now, it's giving you some recommendations here on the best kind of images to use. Now, if this is a bit too technical for you, you're basically looking for a format in terms of like pictures, etc., to be in a PNG format, and also for the size to be around 2500 by 3500 pixels. Now, I showed you again in the previous video on how to upgrade the size of your images and designs to be used, but you're looking for something that is around the 2500 pixel range at least. Now, as I showed you in the previous video on the soft warning you get, that if you upload something that doesn't look high quality, then Tmail will give you a soft warning, and then you can try and raise the resolution to make sure that you get past that problem. So the next pointer is about saturation, the idea that what you see on the screen in your sort of high definition, really improved text screen, some fancy screen that's got loads of colors and looks really vibrant, might look different than when you get the product in your hands. So it's also making the point that if you had any neon colors in your design, then it might not be as vibrant. Now, I can tell you from scratch that when I look at one of my designs, so if I look at the Out of the Fire hoodie, on screen it looks really cool, really eye-catching and distinctive. I'm actually wearing the product right now. You can't see it because I haven't put my camera on, but the quality of the print is really good and depicts what you see on the screen really, really well. So in terms of the quality, it looks really good, but as we said before, the higher the quality of your image on the artwork, the higher the quality of the print that you get in the end on your product. So the last couple of pointers that I wanted to raise is, well, let's just last one for a second, scale. So this is basically a warning to say, make sure any lines on your design are at least 2 millimeters wide. So if you've got any very intricate sort of, I don't know, thin lines, pencil lines, call them whatever you will, then they might not show up greatly on your design. And also that also goes for things like microscopic text and, hair width lines. Tmail is saying they might not resolve or may appear broken on your final product. So again, make sure that your design is of high quality resolution when you upload it, and also to make sure you utilize the design area when it comes to your print. So you got the dotted line outline there to show you where your design should fit into. You just make sure that if your text is too small, for example, or your lines are too small, try and use the area to increase the size to make sure it's fully visible and you don't get some blotchy, blurry print at the end. So the most important warning I wanted to mention is this one here, copyright. Now, copyright is a bit of a ball ache. So the reason I say that is that while it's a ball ache, it is actually serious and something that we all need to adhere to. That goes for Sherry and myself when we're designing our products, as well as for you guys as well. So, whether you're customizing one of our designs or using the studio, then what you're tacitly agreeing to is the terms of Tmail that cover copyright. So essentially, it's our responsibility as designers to upload a design and make sure it's not in breach of copyright or intellectual property. So Tmail in the background does operate a moderation process. So if they come across a design that's been submitted to them that's been flagged for copyright, then the process is that they will look to refund you if you've paid for it and you've gone through the studio, and they'll give you a refund instead before the product is made and dispatched. So when you're designing, just a point I want to point out is just keep that in mind, and if in doubt, try and stem away from copyrighted material. Now, I myself, being fully transparent, was guilty of producing a couple of designs previously from the very first instances when we were making the store, of products not quite adhering to, falling foul, if you will, of copyright. So what I did then was to redesign them in my own way, keeping them unique, because even if you did, say, a hand drawing of, say, a logo or a character, or editing a famous image, that doesn't mean then you get the registered trademark of that person or copyright to use their likeness or their image. Basically a very big grey area, and I even went to the lengths of trying to find, legal advice, not to bring a case, but to just find out like what is possible, what isn't, and it's really a grey area. There's no real defined answer. It goes from like, well, you might get away with it, but what's the, why take that risk, essentially. So just a pre-warning for anyone uploading designs. And yes, at Headthreads, one of our points is that, we look to utilize the fields of, music, sport, film, TV, etc. But it doesn't mean we can just cut and paste, famous stuff and stick it on there and here we go. The more we can be imaginative with designs, the better. Utilize your creativity. You might find, a different way of portraying what you're looking for. But essentially, I just wanted to point out the copyright point, because that might mean your design gets blocked. And also, as store owners, it doesn't look good for us in terms of like reputation with T-mail. They might flag to us that, there are some issues going on here. We want to avoid any of all that kind of stuff, and just make sure that you guys still get the designs that you want and that you can wear what you believe. So one last thing before we wrap this up to mention about copyright is that Cherie and I aren't able to answer individual queries on pieces that you're creating, because quite simply we're not qualified to answer those kind of questions. T-mail won't be able to look at individual queries either if you ask them, because they'll essentially put the responsibility down to you to exercise your judgment and caution to avoid your designs being flagged. I know it doesn't seem great, but look, them's the rules, right? Look, we want to respect what copyright rules and guidelines are out there, both from a design perspective and from T-mail as a manufacturer's perspective. But don't worry though, because like I said in the last video, there's other ways to be creative, particularly when it comes to things like popular culture. You can seek inspiration from other designers, find other individual creative ways to express your own designs and get creating. And eventually you'll find something that you can piece together. You can say, that was my own design, and then go and wear it, show it to other people, get them inspired as well, and share the brand accordingly all over your network. So there you have it. That's essentially the videos we have for you at the moment. Hopefully they're all pretty straightforward and gives you an idea of what's possible, what's available, and the creativity that gets sparked in you to go and make your own products and ultimately wear what you believe. So go and have fun. And if you do get stuck or have any questions, do let us know on email at hello@headthreads.net. We'll check it out and do our very best to help you. So as I say, have fun, get creating, and wear what you believe at Headthreads.